hello there, lovely lady and her friend.
Thank you.
How can I help you this fine afternoon?
Well, you know,
Not you.
Welcome to Worldwide Entertainment TV. Today we got Mr. Hassan.
Wajid Hassan, yeah, you got it, Kevin.
All right. So I was looking at your resume, your history, and it's kind of diverse. You were an actor?
You pervert! You should be ashamed of yourself. Taking advantage of her sexual innocence, only to one day toss her aside.
Okay, now who am I, Shaq? Do I look like I could toss her anywhere?
Save it, infidel! You're fired! Fine. Hey, little bald man, the machine is not for your silliness.
Hey, Haji.
If your bare bottom touches the glass, you're out of here, mister. And the other side is just as worse.
Or do you still do acting?
I've kind of put a hold on acting right now. I'm actually focusing on promoting my book that I wrote in August of 2020.
Yeah.
But I'm still available. I still have an agent, but I'm just kind of refocusing right now. But if my agent calls with a gig, of course I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But I was a union actor for over 20 years in LA, doing commercials, voiceover parts in movies and sitcoms. So I guess that qualifies me like among the top 5% of people who are actually getting regular work, because it's a very competitive business.
Yeah.
Only that maybe like 0.02% make it to the top, but at least I was working,
Yeah. So what made you get into that?
That's a good question. When I was raised in London, I went to high school in England. Okay. And when I was 15, I got in front of the school and I made everybody laugh. And my drama teacher, she said, "You're natural. Why don't you get into comedy and acting?" And my parents, being immigrants, they said, no, you're not going to do nothing like that. You're going to study science and math and get a job. And so with my formal education, I actually got into the technical field and was a field service engineer in England for a while. Then when I moved to Los Angeles, I was in the technical field, and I ended up working for myself, and I had a little computer repair shop in Hollywood on Sunset near Highland. And at that time, back in 1997, my spiritual mentor or yogi master, an Englishman by the name of Dr. George King, he passed away, and I was really kind of despondent. I got into a depression, and so my wife at the time, she said, "Well, you made people laugh in high school. Why don't you get out of your depression and go do some stand-up comedy, do some lessons?" So I took some lessons, and then I did the open mic at the Laugh Factory and the Comedy Store and the Improv, and I found that I could make people laugh.
My name is Wajid. I am the original Spice Girl.
Especially when I put a turban on my head and put on an Indian accent, which they like, because Hollywood loves the stereotype, right? If you're from India or Pakistan, they want you to put, even though I was raised in England, they want you to put on an accent or put on a turban or be the cab driver or whatever, or the doctor. So anyway, so I was happy doing that, and then. Then this lady came into my store, and I fixed her Apple computer, and she kept looking at me, and I said, why do you keep staring at me? She said, "Well, you have an interesting face." I said, "So?" She said, "Well, I'm a casting director." I said, "So?" I didn't know what a casting director was. So she said, "Well, let's get you an agent." So she got me a commercial agent, and I started booking commercials, and then I got a theatrical agent. So I guess I was kind of discovered, or I guess it was meant to be. So from there, my computer store kind of fell under because larger companies were taking over, like Circuit City and Best Buy. So I couldn't handle that, and that's when I decided to get into acting and entertainment.
Okay. So from that field, you went into book writing?
Yeah, in my background, we all got to make money, right? So, so with the technical background and the acting, I did menial jobs on top of auditions, which we have to do in Hollywood. A working actor, it's either feast or famine. But in the background, I was always interested in yoga, metaphysics, spirituality. And like I say, I followed my yogi master, Dr. George King, for over 40 years, and his organization, the Ethereal Society. And so it was something I was doing in the background. It wasn't something I was openly doing. And so after publishing the book, I decided to relay some of my spiritual experiences I had with him, my own journey, my spiritual journey, and some of the truths that I learned, during following him, this person for over 40 years.
Okay, because I noticed book writing and being in film and acting, there's a lot of correlation to it, and there's things that is spiritually put into movies that sometimes people don't catch. So what are your thoughts on some of the movies that are in Hollywood? And do you think sometimes people don't pick up the subliminals in some of the films?
Yeah, there's some that don't have a good message, and there's some that have a good message. Some are inspiring.
Yeah.
And the ones, there's a lot of movies that actually uplift, and that's what I like of the creativity of acting and comedy and TV and film, is that it allows people to write creatively, produce creatively, and I think the essence sometimes of entertainment, if used correctly, can uplift and make people feel. There's plenty of movies out there that have inspired me to be a better person, and so I think that aspect of Hollywood I really liked. And then of course, there's the horror and science fiction, and they can go into regression, and that part, I know it's entertainment, but sometimes that can also, I think what we see and what we hear affects us. So
Yeah.
it's important to, I guess, look at things that inspire us and uplift us more than something that depresses us or makes us feel bad.
Well, speaking about depressed and feeling bad, what are your thoughts on the last couple of years with the whole pandemic and everything?
I think it's really interesting. When I published the book, it happened right in the middle of the pandemic. It wasn't meant that way. And of course, on top of the pandemic, now we have this, global crisis with this war going on.
Yeah.
So it seems that one of the main reasons, Kevin, I wrote the book was to give people hope, give people inspiration, let them know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And people during the pandemic had a chance to be by themselves, and they had to a lot of people quit their jobs. They rethought about what their lives are really supposed to be. And people, I believe there is, despite everything that's occurring around the planet, I think there is an awakening, a kind of a spiritual awakening. People are looking into what's really important. They're tired of these endless wars. They're tired of the pandemic. They're tired of the economic system that favors the rich and makes slavery out of the poor.
Yeah.
They're tired of this hatred between races, this hatred between religions. And so this is not the way mankind is supposed to be. And so the reason, again, I wrote the book is that we need to get back to not so much religious values, because they've, a lot of religions have caused a lot of problems with their dogma, but get back to spiritual values, spiritual principles which are universal in every culture, every religion. Thou shalt not kill, love thy neighbor as thyself, and prayer and meditation. Those are what we have been neglecting, especially the power of healing and sending out a spiritual energy. That is the call of action today, because bombs and bullets, they're not going to fix nothing.
So there's some people that believe that what's happening right now, it might lead to World War III. Do you think that is possible? Because I had a friend that says how we are today, no, we're not like how it was 100 years ago. He doesn't believe that there would be like a world war, but as we see, anything's possible in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. We're living very precarious times, and the possibility of World War III could be imminent. I strongly believe, not only on this physical realm, but I believe there is a war between good and evil, between dark forces and forces of light. And I think there are forces of darkness that want to create more war, more suffering. So it gives them power and control over the souls of people. And so again, part of writing my book and my experiences is to let people know that, we can avoid all this, and we can rise en masse in peace, and, send out the light, send out the energy from the sun, from the cosmos, and send this energy as a white light through your brain, through the heart center, through the palms of your hand. It's a very real energy. It's the same energy that the Master Jesus used to heal the sick and make the blind see and raise the dead. That's the same universal energy. It's very real, just like electricity, but on a higher octave of existence. Yeah. And so we can avoid all this if we all come together, cooperate. I belong to a group that sends out energy every day. If people want to learn how to do it, they can go to the website 12blessings.org, then 12 being numerical, blessings.org. And together, if we cooperate, every race, religion, everybody come together as one race, because that's what we are. We've been fooled into thinking that we belong to this race or that race. And so if people understood the truth about reincarnation, they need to understand that we come back as different races, different cultures, different religions, in order to learn and to grow. So this pride about being born this race, this religion, is just a big lie. And people need to understand that we are all interconnected, metaphysically, spiritually, mentally. We're all part of this one race, the human race. And the more people start understanding that, the less problems they're going to have about, this is my land, or this is your land, or this is, I'm proud to belong to this. I'm proud to, it doesn't make sense. It's not even logical.
Okay, you brought up about the different races. What is your thoughts on artificial intelligence? Because I've seen some interviews with Elon Musk and others who say that artificial intelligence could help humanity, but it could also be something that could work against humanity.
Well, artificial intelligence is man-made, and right now they use it. A lot of companies use it and to profile people and what they want to buy, what their needs are, and stuff like that. There's a lot of AI on the internet that follows people around and makes suggestions or where their location is. Artificial intelligence is not going to replace the human soul, and the human soul is what counts, and we're spiritual beings in physical bodies. It's not the other way around. And so we've regressed to the point where we just think we're physical. And they talk about famine or lack of food. I think our souls are starved because spiritually we need to be channeling this energy. It's our natural heritage to channel this spiritual energy. And it's the only solution, Kevin, that's going to fix the problems of the world. Nothing else has really fixed anything. Yeah. We need to transmute this hatred, this murder, this violence, this which again is energy. Because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. It's real. Thoughts are real. And so we have this mental pollution around the planet that needs to be transformed. Another thing we can do is raise from the Mother Earth, who's a living being, we can raise our vibration by requesting her violet flame of transmutation. That's another practice we can do, is visualize a violet flame coming through us, which will protect us from mental and hatred that's been thrown at us, and send this white light. It's very simple. It's been used for centuries. It's very simple. Yeah. Because it's so simple, people don't understand it. They like to think if something's complicated, they'll be interested in it. This is very simple exercises that we can do. We just have not been doing it together en masse. And that, I think that's the call of action today, if we're going to stop World War III from occurring. Because, yeah, you're right. These are very dangerous times.
So you said earlier that there's dark forces and light forces. Do you believe that there is certain groups of people that understand this and hope manifest that so they could end up being the ones that could come around and say they got the solutions and keep themselves in power over the masses?
Yeah, I think there are very powerful people behind the scenes that want to control us. Over the centuries, they manipulated us, hypnotized us into thinking certain ways. And I believe with this new spiritual awakening that's occurring, the prophets of old and the prophets of new have said that in the centuries to come, there is going to be a renaissance. There's going to be a new age coming to this earth where there won't be all this wars and hatred and race divisions. There's going to be a new, age that will dawn on this planet. So it's up to us how quickly we want to bring that into being, or if we want to be part of it. Just as there are dark forces, I believe there's also angels or ascended beings, ascended masters on different vibrations who are also watching us, helping us and protecting us, and they're also inspiring us to send out the light and help transform the world. I think it's our responsibility to the younger generation to be doing this. Yeah. We can't just sit by and allow these wars. War is a racket. War is criminal. It benefits corporations that make the weapons. They get profit. It benefits corporations. They can raise the price of oil. I mean, it's all planned. I don't think any war is. It's all planned deliberately to bring a maximum amount of suffering to, again, innocent women, children, and men, which is, I think is, we're just, people on the higher dimensions or the higher beings, they look at us probably scratching their heads thinking, what a savage warlike race we are, that we indulge in killing each other. It's just against the laws of nature. It's against the divine law. We can't be doing this forever.
So I saw that you climbed one of the biggest mountains. What inspired you to do that?
Well, it's the biggest mountain in Africa, which was Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to go to Africa, so I had a chance in 2006. Beautiful continent. to go on a safari in Kenya. And then after that, I went to Tanzania and climbed Kilimanjaro. It was probably one of the most toughest mental, physical challenge I've ever done, but a beautiful spiritual experience to climb to the top of this holy mountain. It has a lot of energies in it. It's a very, very sacred mountain, and it was a wonderful experience. And if people want to see highlights of that, they can go to my website. If they want to know more information, they can go to wajidauthor.com, WAJIDAUTHOR.com. And I think it's important, Kevin, that, you know, in these days of turmoil, that we need to go to the mountains or to the ocean or to nature and recharge our batteries and know that we are part of this nature. And so I think it's very important that we do that. Sometimes it's good to do that for our souls as well, to get back to nature.
I was just going to ask you that I know, like in ancient texts, always noticed a lot of things happen around mountains. And I was just, you already answered what I was going to ask.
Yeah, Moses went to the mountain, so did Jesus, so did a lot of the prophets, and people get a lot of inspiration from going up, away from mankind, away from the turmoil. And it was beautiful. One night, you know, I looked up and, you know, from my campsite, and, you know, I saw this blur across the sky, and I realized that it was the Milky Way. There was no sound of trains and buses and cars and airplanes, just pure silence. And for me, it brought me closer to my divinity than ever before. You know, so it was a very beautiful spiritual experience for me, climbing Kilimanjaro.
Okay, so in your book, what would you say people would take away from it when you read it?
The ultimate message, and there's a lot of information in there. People want to read the book, is to stay open-minded. And I reveal truths in there that people have not really heard of before, you know, about our history, where we're going, and the context that my yogi master had with beings from different higher dimensions, different planets in this solar system. And so people are more understanding now, as science has advanced, that we're not alone, that there are higher beings that watch over us. And I think the main message is this call for action, is the action of service, is to be of service to anybody, regardless of race, color, creed, or religion. And I think that's the greatest call of action today, is to serve our fellow man, our planet, the plants and animals, and become custodians of this beautiful planet that we live on. We didn't come here to suffer. Our suffering is man-made. We created our own suffering. Because we created it, we can also rise above it.
Okay. So any lasting words you want to tell the audience?
Well, if they want more information, again, they can go to my website, wajidauthor.com. And I would say, you know, keep an open mind, use your intuition, listen to that voice within, and discriminate between what is right and what is wrong, and open your mind up, because the intuition always tells you what's right. And then, you know, send out the light. That's the biggest message, is send out the spiritual light as often as you can to help change this world. As Mahatma Gandhi said, you know, be the change that you want to see in this world.
Let us know your thoughts below and hit that notification bell after subscribing. Visit wwetvn.com to check out this worldwide exclusive.